Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today, our topic is Alamatun Nifaq. Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayh in Kitabul Iman, the bab is bab number 24, and two Hadith is regarding Nifaq. The issue of Nifaq was not in Makkatul Mukarramah. In Meccan period, as you know, after announcement of prophethood sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stayed 13 years in Mecca and 10 years in Medina. So in Meccan period, there was no issue of nifaq. There were only two groups, one believers and the others are mushrikeen. And they were very publicly, very openly opposing Islam, opposing Muslimin and fighting with them. And they were trying their best to stop them from da'wah. So open enemy, publicly opposition. So that's why in Makki Surah, you will not find any topic of nifaq or the munafiqeen. In Meccan period, they were not existing. In Madinatul Munawwara, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam established Islamic State, so in Islamic State, some were those who were very clearly, publicly opposing Islam or Muslimin. Some were, and the other group, the Muslim, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the companion of Rasulullah. And the third group were this hypocrite or munafiqeen. Madani Surah, mostly in Quran, in all Madani, whenever you get the zikr of munafiqeen, that's why the ulama says the sign of the Makki and Madani Surah. There are many signs. One is that the zikr of munafiqeen is a sign that this surah is Madani Surah. These groups living in Islamic society, showing their Islam, pretending like Muslim, coming to Masjid al-Nabawi, reading Salat in front of Muslimin, fasting with them, showing their fast. Even if they know there will be victory, they were participating in jihad. But the purpose of jihad, malul ghanima, the booty. The purpose of jihad, the worldly benefit. Showing their iman, the worldly benefit. But inside, no iman, no faith. In very beginning of Surah Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, Alif Lam Mim Dhalikal Kitabul La Rayba Fi Hudal lil Muttaqin. So the first verse is, الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. So these verses, very beginning, are the sign of mu'min. Two verses after are the sign of kafir, non-believers. 13 verses continuously are the sign of the hypocrites. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. They deceiving Allah and the people of faith. وَمَا يَخْدَعُونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ. In reality, they are not deceiving Allah and the Prophet. They are deceiving themselves. They are depriving themselves from the benefit of iman in dunya and akhirah. فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ. They have disease in their heart. فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. They have chosen this way, so Allah increased their disease. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. And then their attitude, their behavior. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. When someone tells them, why you are spreading corruption and mischief? قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. We are the revival. We are doing revival in the society. We are the muslihun. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسُ قَالُوا أَنُؤْمِنُ كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءُ. When you tell them, why not believing like them, that you have iman in your heart and the same you show it. He said, shall we believe like these fools? قَالُوا أَنُؤْمِنُ كَمَا آمَنَ السُّفَهَاءُ. These fool people. أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ السُّفَهَاءُ وَلَكِنْ لَا. So now here in this verse, in this hadith, after this brief about the munafiqeen, bear in your mind, the Prophet ﷺ says from Abu Huraira, Ayatul munafiqi thalath. The signs of munafiq, there are 3 signs of munafiq. إذا حدث كذب. When he speaks, he tells a lie. وإذا وعد أخلف. And when he promises, he breaks his promise. وإذا اؤتمن خان. And when he is entrusted, he betrayed. He proved that he is not trustworthy. The question is this, that these signs, now I give you the introduction of the munafiqeen, these signs, but nowadays you look at it, how many free from these? So then the ulama discussed it, that if these are the sign of the munafiq, in one hadith 3, in one hadith 4, then who is a Muslim? So the ulama says these are definitely the sign of munafiqeen, no doubt about it. But it doesn't mean, this is one interpretation, that whoever has it, he is the munafiq. No, means he is a resemblance with the munafiq. These are the character of munafiq. If you have it, then you have a resemblance with the munafiq. You have the likeness with the munafiq. Now you have to correct yourself, because these are the definite, perfect sign of munafiq. Whenever someone is munafiq, he has these things. The other definition, which is very common, the ulama said, that the munafiq, there are 2 type of munafiq, nifaq. One is called an-nifaqul i'tiqadi, and the other is called an-nifaqul amali. Practical nifaq and nifaq al-i'tiqad, in belief. The first category, an-nifaqul i'tiqadi, which I mentioned and before, that they show their iman, but inside they don't have any belief and any faith. So they say this is the nifaqul i'tiqadi. They have defect in their i'tiqad, they have defect in their faith. The other nifaq is nifaqul amali, is related to practice. This could be believer and also definitely the sign of those who have defect in their belief as well. So the believer having a faith might have these things, and this will be called the nifaqul amali. So that's why when we call someone he is a munafiq, so bear in mind, we don't mean by saying to any Muslim he is a munafiq that he is a non-believer, means he is nifaqul amali. Practically, he has the sign of the munafiqs. So nifaqul amali, when you called it, so then it's applied to the believers as well. And this is mostly the ulama define it, that these are the sign when you find in any believer, in any mu'min, in any Muslim, it means he is a believer, but practically he is very weak. The second question, there are 3 things mentioned, the ayatul munafiqi salas, and in some 4, and they are different alamat, not only these 3, there are some other alamat. The ulama says the 3 mentioning is the hikmah, that the person can show off something, nifaq, with qawl, with fi'l, and with niyyah. Means you can have a nifaq in intention, you have a nifaq in your word, and you have nifaq in what? In your action. So all 3 mentioned. The first, the intention one, is a wa'ada akhlafa. So this is related to your intention. Why? Because when you promising someone, and you from very beginning think that this is my promise, but you won't get it. So this is, your intention is different, but you are saying something different. So say this is the example of your defect in your intention. You intend something, but you don't mean it. So this is the niyat. जब नीयत में फितना हो तो उसकी मिसाल वैज़ा वादा अखलफा, वादा किया लेकिन उसे पता है कि मैं वादा तो कर लिया पर हुन मेरे पीछे फिरते रहना सारा दिन. और हमारे बहुत कॉमन है अब, कैन यू प्रॉमिस? यस आई प्रॉमिस, एंड देन आफ्टरवर्ड यू कीप लुकिंग ऑफ इट. देन इन आवर उर्दू से वो वादा ही क्या जो वफा हो गया. इसे if you fulfill your promise, that is not really a promise. The promise means to just say to someone and then just let him. The second, وَإِذَا حَدَّثَ كَذِبَ, the first which is mentioned, this is related to your qawl, to your words. When they speak, they tell a lie. And the third, the action, وَإِذَا تُؤْمِنَ خَانَ. When you entrust him and you give him something practically, they betrayed you. So this is related to your action, but practically they do khayana in your amana. So in action they are not trustworthy, in word they are not trustworthy, in intention they are not very pure. So three ways to express yourself to someone. There are how many ways to express yourself to someone? Three ways. With your intention, with your action, and with your words. So all three ways mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ, giving each one as one example. وَإِذَا وَعَدَ أَخْلَفَ is with your intention. وَإِذَا حَدَّثَ كَذِبَ with your kadaba or kadiba with your word. وَإِذَا تُؤْمِنَ خَانَ with your action. This is the second thing. And the other meaning of this, the ulama says that the more these signs you have, the more you have to be worried about your iman, about your faith, that how much resemblance you as a Muslim have with the munafiqeen. Let's say someone have one resemblance. The other person think, I have two resemblance. I'm not fulfilling my promise. But most of the time I am telling a lie. And if someone has all three resemblance, then this person should be very concerned that what kind of a believer, what kind of a mu'min I am, that I have a complete resemblance with munafiq. Innal munafiqina fi ddarkil asfali minan nar. The lowest level of the hellfire, the munafiqin will there. The curse for the munafiqin. The Quran mentioned and defined them in a different places. So the person should be thinking that this worst character, and I have complete resemblance with this character according to this hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So these are a warning for us that in our society, how much we claim to be a Muslim and how much our resemblance with the munafiqeen. These munafiqeen, the munafiqeen of i'tiqadi, the ulama says that in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, he was given wahi and he knew all of them and he mentioned some, to the Sahaba. But after the Prophet ﷺ, you can call some, this is munafiq because he is lying. You can say this is munafiq because he is not fulfilling promise. This is munafiq and he is not trustworthy. But no one has authority to call someone munafiqul i'tiqadi. The reason, what is in the heart of someone, it is very difficult for someone to find out. And that's why the i'tiqadi munafiqeen, you can't declare anyone. This is the matter between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you can say that declaring these people with the i'tiqadi, this door is closed. None of us have authority and none of us has the real knowledge that the person, what he is doing inside, he don't have a faith, and outside he is showing. So this will be between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the munafiq al-amali, we have to be very careful. These amali munafiq exist in our society. Every single day we are facing them, and we have to be very careful about them. And these three characters, when the time comes, inshallah, each one we will discuss it separately, but just commonly, because you all have the definition of what is lying, what is not to be trustworthy, and how to fulfill the promise. These three things, whenever you see the traces in your personality, you should be worried, because you are getting resemblance with the worse people, those who are cursed in Quran and cursed by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم علمنا بما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما إنك أنت العليم الحكيم برحمتك يا أرحم